In this video, we are going to learn about exponents. The first one I want to define is power. A power is a number that could be expressed using an exponent. A number that can be expressed using an exponent. Now, we need to define what the word exponent means and what the word base means. So power is, let's say, 3 with a little 2, okay? The 3 in this situation is called the base, and the 2 in this situation is called the exponent. The little number is the exponent. Now, what exponents represent and what powers represent are repeated multiplication. Okay, so what this means is we take our base and we're going to multiply it as many times that our exponent says. So what this means is 3 times 3. Okay, now what I don't want you to think, and I'm going to put it over here in red, this is not 3 times 2. I'm going to cross it out. We're talking about 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so I'm going to talk about one other thing quickly, and we're going to use 2 as our base, and we're going to go through a couple different things. So if I have 2 squared, or 2 to the power of 2, what this means is 2 times 2. And we know that that equals 4. I'm going to put it over here. The next one would be 2 to the third power, which is 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, and we can do this slow. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times another 2, which is 8. And we'll do one more. We have 2 to the fourth power, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 4 of them, because our exponent is 4, which is 2 times 2 is 4, and these two together is 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, now let's talk about these other two. We have 2 to the first power, and 2 to the first power is telling us there is only one 2, which means our answer is 2. Okay, now here is where the tricky one is. The tricky one is 2 to the 0 power, which means there are no 2's, okay? And that doesn't mean our answer is 0. It means our answer is 1. Now, why? So our answer is 1 because this is multiplication. Everything could be multiplied by 1, and it won't change any of the answers. By there being no 2's here, we're really just still multiplying by 1, which is 1, okay? So a little recap on that. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 7 to the 0 power is 1. 6 to the 0 power is 1. 101 to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so that goes along with that. And for our first power, we have 2 to the first power. If I have 3 to the first power, it's always going to give us our base, 3. 100 to the first power is 100. 99 to the first power is 99. Okay? Now let's just take a couple other ones here. Maybe we'll do a decimal and a fraction. A decimal and a fraction work the same way. We take our base and we have it to the fourth power. So 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3. We are expanding it. I like to call this expand. So when we expand it, we're less likely to make a mistake. This isn't 0.3 to the fourth power. This is 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3. So I like to do those two. So we have 0.3 times 0.3. Now, don't say 0.9 because 3 times 3 is 9, but we have 2 decimal places here. So 1, 2. So this is 0.09. That's a very easy mistake to make. And we can multiply if we want times 0.3 and then times 0.3 again. But what I find a little bit easier is to do 0.3 times 0.3 because we know that already. We know that 0.3 times 0.3 is 0.09. And then we only have to multiply one more time. 0.09 times 0.09. Well, I know 9 times 9 is 81. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So our final answer is 0.0081. Okay? And in our last question here, we're going to do fractions. Fractions work the same way. So let's expand it. We have 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3, 3 different times, just like our exponent 3 tells us. And we can multiply fractions all at one time. Our numerators multiply together 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. And our denominators multiply together. Now let's just do a little bit of side work. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So our final answer here would be 27. And just real quick, let's write our expansion as a power. So this is our base written as repetitive multiplication. So we have 0.75 to some power. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different multiplication of 0.75. So our power is 5. And in this one, we have 3/8, and it is written 1, 2, 3, 4 times, so our power is 4.